not ready to go yet, okay? I'm not ready. You gotta wait. I got shit to do. I'm in the middle of something, all right? Just hold on.
Watch your mouth or don't come in here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, please, people, come on, we're adults here.
You know what? What is the point?
Yeah, we're adults here. I got a fucking Burger King fucking thing on my head. We're all fucking adults here, guys. People, in my chat, 2 words. What are they? 2 words. Let me see the chat flood. Let me see the chat flood. 2 words. Okay, next caller. Please. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, which translate in American to dick and balls.
I got flip-flops. These are my flip-flops. Yeah, I really like my flip-flops because I can put them on. Because look, watch me put them on. I can put them on all by myself. Watch me put them on. Look, are you watching? Look, these are my flip-flops.
Thanksgiving Day. I remember it clearly. It was Thanksgiving Day. I was inserting myself in somebody else's fucking business as a cash grab, and you know. This channel is harsh reality. Karen Yak se jodió la sucia vida. Amen.
This is Jonathan Lee Riches. I have cheeseburgers. I'm gonna put cheese on them. I'm gonna make sure that I have my hamburgers because I'm a big boy now and I can make the hamburgers. My mom lets me use the stove now.
And I'm just like, wow, I like receipts, and they brought receipts. Like they had evidence to back up everything they said. And I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be another side to this, right? Like this can't, no, this is too fantastic.
Yeah, because you're not going to just jump to the conclusion that there's a conspiracy amongst cops to cover up a murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, cops and just like soccer moms and shit. Like that's what made it even crazier. Like,
yeah, get it, Betty. Yeah,
did you have a close relationship with your mom?
Get it, Betty.
Oh, of course, I still do.
Yeah.
My older sister was kind of sad. She was more of the prissy girl, like
that is the best shit fucking
shopping for the
ever.
dresses with mommy. I was the tomboy that liked playing with the cute.
Shout out to Cherry for just being easily the most faithful and loyal supporter that I've ever had. That someone could have that tenacity with loyalty. And I'm really blessed to have someone like Cherry be part of this channel and in my life. So it means a lot. And yes, I named him after Mr. T and Rocky. Say, woman. Say, woman. Say, woman. Said your old man ain't got no heart. Why don't you come down to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this little dude. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I love you guys very, 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 very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends. Oh, say bye. Say bye. Oh, I love you too. Give me a kiss. Oh, I love you. Bye, guys. Woo! Good evening, folks. Oh my God. Happy 4th of July Eve. America. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Anyway, people, it's good to see you. I hope everybody is enjoying the beginning to their long weekend. Yeah, so I don't know how long this stream is going to be. I'm definitely going to go over something here. So I see a lot of people in the chat are already aware of what I'm about to go over. Because I see a lot of opinions. Now, I haven't watched this yet. As you guys know, I like to react to things if I can. I like to give my reaction to things in real time, if possible. And I saw this, and I was like, "Ooh!" I saw it on my feed, and I was like, "Ooh, okay, guess I'm doing that." And as soon as I was setting it up, Annie texted me the link. And I was like, dude, I was just about like, I'm literally setting up a live for this. So I'm like totally just I've been looking at the comments, and I see a lot of people are pretty upset about it. And that's okay. Again, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna watch it. And yeah, this whole thing is just really bizarre, man. You know, there was also the give me 1 second here. Okay, so there was also something that I was shown earlier, and let me see if I could just go over that real quick. Oh, I hate going over this lady's shit, man. Seriously. I mean, regardless of I mean, I really haven't watched. I don't even know what her opinion is, because I just don't watch her. And I know that there are friends that have been on this channel, or have been on this news source. And you know, at the risk of upsetting them, I apologize in advance, but I just don't fucking like this lady. And I never have. And it goes all the way back to the Watts days. So I'm going to go over this real quick.
Clearly, the only people who know exactly why the Karen Reed jury failed to reach a verdict are the 6 men and women in the room. But tonight, we have the next best thing to a fly on the wall. A trusted source who spoke to a juror directly and says they were never going to convict Karen Reed of second-degree murder. They just didn't believe that she intended to kill her police officer boyfriend.
Now, let me explain something to you guys. I want to be very clear. I'm going to give you guys a little disclaimer here. When this person right here says words like my sources or our sources, it means it means fuck all to me, a bucket of piss, as far as I'm concerned. And if you followed her as long as I have, and followed high profile cases that become the topic of YouTube true crime, and you've done this for a long time, you know, I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you. Now, that's the thing. Now, if Sean is her source, again, I love Sean. I do. I absolutely adore Sean. But that means that Sean has a source. And I trust Sean's sources to a certain degree, sure. What I don't trust is for her to report what she gets accurately. And I don't trust her sources. I don't trust her sources to be, I mean, because right there, again, if Sean is her source, then that means that her source is somebody who claims that they have a source. So, you know what I mean? So I take when she says things like my source or News Nation's source, I take it with a grain of salt, to say the least. So, you know, just keep that in mind when I hear things like this. But we're going to assume that her source is correct. Okay, that's going to be kind of the point here. I'm just giving a disclaimer because I just don't trust Ashley Banfield, and I think she's completely full of shit, as well as News Nation, for other obvious reasons why I think News Nation is completely full of shit. So, yeah. But let's hear her out.
Boyfriend of 2.5 years, well, 2.5 years ago. They didn't believe it. They said no, all of them. They agreed. We're told that the jury dispensed with that murder charge right away, and then they split evenly, 6 against 6 on the lesser charges. You know, the lesser charges of manslaughter while driving under the influence and leaving the scene of a personal injury and death. And after being formally told to work through their impasse, we're told that the panel actually became, and I quote, very hostile. And eventually they could go no further. So what happens now? The prosecutors insist they're going to retry Karen Read. They're going to do it again, in which case she will insist again that she was framed. A mistrial is not the same as vindication by any means, but the Commonwealth may very well want to take note of the one thing that this hopelessly deadlocked jury agreed upon. And that was that she wasn't a murderer, in their opinion, regardless of their charge and regardless of their case. In the meantime, there she is, hugging away, walking out the back door. She remains free till they meet again.
Oh, shut up. Okay. Now, now, I I gotta tell you guys. Oh, this one is wait. I want to dedicate this one to whatever what is this person's name? Hold on a second. Didn't I click on some of these? I feel like I did. Oh God. All right. Well, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. The first comment I got, right? The first comment I got was from some channel that was like outdoors some shit. I mean, I don't know. I checked out the channel. They had like 350,000 subs, and the pretentious fuck leaves a comment going, "Hey, had to unsub because of your silly super chat bullshit. But best of love the content and best of luck with your channel. And God bless." Like, they felt the need to come into my chat and tell me that shit, like, so I mean, and I go in there and like it's just fucking videos of fucking squirrels, bro. Like, yeah, any asshole could fucking do that, dude. You expect me to sit here and take advice from you over how to have a great channel where everybody watches and blah 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 blah? Go fuck yourself. Okay. If I had fucking, if I was a lazy fuck like you, I would just film my dog chasing squirrels, which he does daily. And I sit there and giggle and laugh while he does it. Like it means absolute shit to me what your opinions are as far as that goes. But the only reason I'm pointing it out is because I mean, you know, can you guess?
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super 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 dad. Super dad.
Yeah, outdoor squirrel fucker. That one's for you. And Jim Jerry, thank you so much. No upchurch necessary. Keep up the great work, Glare. See, that's all you got to do. Just request it to not be played, and I won't play it. You know, and I don't even play them every time. Like, fuck your mother. Go fuck a squirrel. Leave me alone. This channel is absolutely mediocre. Very funny to me. People are that fucking anyway. So yeah, here's the thing about this Ashley Banfield. Let's just assume that Ashley Banfield is correct, her source is correct, that it was a 6-6 split, right? And everybody agreed that she did that Karen Reed did not intentionally hit John O'Keefe with her vehicle, and they were split on the manslaughter charge, not the murder charge, but they were split on the manslaughter thing. And they who is Sean? Sean is Sean McDonough, fantastic dude. And his channel's fucking great. Called Going Through the Motions. So I would recommend that you subscribe. Absolutely. Sean is a retired DEA agent, very knowledgeable, and great insight into this case, and does have sources, reliable sources. Dude was totally right about that taillight. So I don't think that Sean has insight into the jury. I wouldn't assume so, but maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But I'm just saying that Sean, if Sean was their source, and that's just based on one person's comment in my chat, doesn't mean that he is. It has nothing to do with anything. I'm saying that I don't trust Ashley Banfield because Ashley Banfield has been historically known to be full of shit. So, as far as what she's saying here, let's just say, okay, there's six people, right? I don't believe that shit for 1 second. I don't believe that there were 6 people who thought that Karen Reed still hit John O'Keefe with her vehicle, but did so accidentally. See, the defense ensured that this was not going to be the case once the jury went off into deliberations. Oh my goodness. Wait, what?
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
Ray Westman, thank you. I absolutely love you. You are real. You tell it like it is. That is so refreshing. You rock. This girl right here will forever be a fan. I'm a fan of you, Ray Westman. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. That's fantastic. I love that shit. So validating. So I just simply don't believe that shit for 1 second. There's no way you're going to get me to believe that there were 6 people that actually believe that Karen Reed hit John O'Keefe with her car. Because I didn't see 6 people fucking sleeping on that jury when I was in that courtroom. I'll tell you that right now. And hey, Jar, you're gonna need a hell of a lot more than $4.99 to dictate what I do on my channel at what time. Okay, nobody tells DJ Request what to play. You understand me? Okay, hell of a lot more than $4.99, and I'm not even gonna tell you how much. Pete, thank you so much. I think you got a super chat. Well, I sure did.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think we.
Chloe Albert's Revenge, thank you. So 6 flat earthers in one room. Don't buy it. Totally. I couldn't have put it. I couldn't have put that better. Fantastic. That was just the perfect amount of snark in that super chat. Thank you so much for that. Right. 6 flat earthers in one room. No fucking way. No fucking way. Because here's the thing. Like, you have 6 people who are sitting there, and I'm talking, they got heated. Fucking heated, according to Banfield here. According to Banfield, there was 6 on 6 yelling and screaming at each other across a table and rah, 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 rah. Oh my God.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think we got.
Jim Jerry, thank you. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna chill out on the super chat dance, just so I can get through what I'm trying to get through. Because I swear to God, I'll play that shit over and over again just to spite the squirrel fucker. I swear to God, I will. I'm that fucking petty. Just to spite the squirrel fucker, I will play that shit fucking on a loop. But anyway. Let's move on with what we had planned here. No, right on, Jim. I appreciate you, buddy. So now this Banfield's source would have us believe that there were 6 people on one side of a table, 6 people on another side of a table, and they were just going at it. That it was so heated that they had to go, you know what? Fuck this. We're done. We're done. Let me write this very eloquent note to Judge Beverly Cannoni real quick. Shh. Before I get upset again. I mean, get the fuck out of my face with that. Stop it. Stop it. So, let me get this straight. So there were 6 people in that room that believed that Karen Reed hit John O'Keefe with her SUV, right? I mean, they were sure. They were so sure they were ready to throw down about it, right? According to Banfield. They were ready to throw down, just rumble. And like, come on, like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that there were 6 people. I'm telling you there weren't 6 of these people when I looked at them. But according to Banfield, there were 6 people who thought that Trooper Paul's explanation for everything was right on the money, right? Everything seemed to make perfect sense what Trooper Paul was saying. Forget all of the lying going on as far as the McAlberts that took place one after the other on the stand. They just ignored all that. They ignored, we're talking 6 people, right? 6 people ignored the fact that not only did Trooper Proctor do the most heinous misogynistic shit that a cop could do in private text messages with his superiors of the Massachusetts State Police, but he also just completely and totally failed to do his fucking job, which was conduct a sound and thorough investigation into the death of a Boston police officer. Yeah, because that's that when I explain that, that makes perfect fucking sense, right? But wait, there's more. So, on top of all that, considering all that, on top of all that, these 6 people completely ignored the fact that there were 2 independent experts not hired by the defense, subpoenaed based on a independent investigation that they conducted working for a company that has been contracted by NASA, that has been contracted to do that has been contracted by the NHL. They basically changed how arenas are set up in the NHL to minimize injuries of the players. And they, for some reason, we know the reason, but let's just say we're jurors, for some reason, have been contracted by some outside entity outside of the entire case, right? Outside of this trial. They were hired to conduct their own reenactment of Karen Reed backing her SUV into John O'Keefe in order to determine whether or not it actually happened. And they have concluded that it did not happen. You had an expert who handles the vehicle side of things. You have an expert that handles the pedestrian side of things. Mechanical, biomechanical, right? And these 6 people, despite all that, were so sure that Karen Reed backed her car into John O'Keefe that they were ready to fight. News Nation is a tabloid, people. Don't listen to News Nation. Okay? Just saying. Now, moving on. Oh, real quick, guys. I always got to pop this up whenever I'm discussing it. Make sure to sub to Microdots. Okay, Microdots dropped 2 new videos and they're fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful work, Microdots. Thanks for being here. And thanks for everything that you do, buddy. Appreciate you. Regina Crawford, thank you so much. I heard that it was a unanimous for murder charge, but split on lesser. Thoughts? Regina Crawford, it's really nice of you to support, and I'm grateful to you. I really am. But I mean, I literally just did that. Like, literally just did that. Literally. I just did that. I just explained. I went over the thing and the thing and gave my opinions and okay. But I appreciate it. Thank you, Regina Crawford. You're gonna have to rewind. I'm sorry, but thank you. Yeah. Sub to Microdots. Microdots is amazing. Hold on. Here we go. And let's check this out. Okay. Now, mind you, I have not watched this yet. So let's see. And I'm already heated.
My first question is obvious. Just how are you doing? How's your family doing?
I mean, we're doing all right, hanging in there. It's been a long, painful 2.5 years. And I mean, with the mistrial that happened the other day, obviously wasn't ideal, but if we have to do it again, we'll do it again. So we're ready to go.
Did you, prior to jury deliberations, ever think a mistrial was even possible?
I kept everything was on the table, I guess, but obviously hoping and confident that we were going to get the conviction that we were looking for. So as far as the mistrial, yes, it's something we didn't
see. I can't have not listened to this guy talk ever about this case. I've always been curious as to his thoughts, because the same information that's been made available to us for so many months has been made available to him, obviously. And if I were him, I would take a peak interest in it in comparison to my personal interest in it. A stranger who doesn't know John, didn't know John. I don't know Karen. I don't know anyone involved here. I don't know any of the McAlberts, you know. All I did was just look at the facts. Microdots, thanks, buddy. I spent more time watching this show than any other on YouTube. Thanks, Will. That's awesome, man. Thanks, Microdots. Appreciate it. Microdots' videos are just amazing, dude. Like that, that's so cool to have somebody with so much talent say such nice things about the channel. So I've always been curious as to what his thoughts were on this case, and right here at the very beginning, to hear him use words like confident in a conviction, that he was confident in a conviction, that his family was confident in a conviction. It tells me either and sorry, because a lot of people aren't going to like this. And I get the feeling that a lot of people aren't going to like a lot of the things that I'm going to end up saying tonight. I'm just getting that feeling. Again, I haven't watched this yet, but we're off to a certain start here where he's saying that he was confident in getting a conviction. When the facts simply dictate that this should have never even gone to trial. We all know this. So that either tells me that he hasn't looked into this, hasn't researched his own brother's case at all, which is fine. Okay. But I just find it hard to believe that he would. I mean, considering everything that's been happening, I can't imagine. Like if it was my brother and I was convinced that the DA's office had the right person on trial for this crime, but I saw literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people around the country and even the world at this point screaming her innocence, I think I would start doing a deep dive. So I'm just not ready to allow him the grace that he possibly didn't research this case independently. So there's A. B, if he feels that he is that if he feels confident, if he felt confident in a conviction, then B, I'm thinking he's a liar, and for some reason has something to gain out of taking this stance. And I can't imagine why that would be either. For the same reason that I'm lost as to option A, I am just as lost in option B. It makes no sense. The fact that this person has not looked at the evidence and has said, hey, you've got the wrong person, or at least criticized publicly the Norfolk County DA's office and the Massachusetts State Police and the Canton Police, and saying, you guys fucked this up. Even if he believed the right person was there, at the very least, if I were him, I'd be going, you all fuck this up. This is a problem. Like This is my brother. He's a Boston police officer, and you did not do the best you could for him to get him justice. There's what they have done is not, it doesn't even get to be in the same room with justice. It just doesn't. It's terrible. It's disgusting. If it's not a frame up, which I believe it to be, wholeheartedly, I believe this. If it's not a frame up, well, then it is at the very least a gross display of negligence from so many different entities. So many different entities. And I would be infuriated. I would be infuriated if I were Paul O'Keefe right now with those entities.
Want, obviously, but you know, it's just a bump in the road, and like I said, we'll do it again. We'll do it as many times as we have to.
You'll be back in court every day for another long trial.
Absolutely.
How are your parents?
They're doing all right. That's more of my concern, is that they have to go through this again. I mean, I'll do it 10 more times if I have to, but I hate the fact that they have to go through this all again. We don't know where it's going to happen, when it's going to happen.
He hates the fact that they have to go through it all again. He hates the fact that the Norfolk County DA's office has to go through it all again. That's what he hates. I mean, I'm trying real hard here. I got to be honest, because there are other things coming to mind, and my restraint is actually being exercised right now. Due to the simple fact that he is the brother of a Boston police officer who's now dead and who was murdered. So I'm trying real hard, because other things come to mind to point out here, because that's a loaded statement, or at least it merits a loaded response from what my thoughts are.
But I mean, overall, they're doing okay.
Mm-hmm. And they have John's kids now too, or your sister's kids.
Yeah. So yeah, they're living in my brother's house in Canton. You know, raising my niece and nephew, who are 16 and 13. You know, I wanted them to come down here and live with us, but you know, my niece didn't want to leave Canton, didn't want to leave her friends, didn't want to leave her house, and kind of hard to force a kid who's been through as much as they've been through to kind of shake up their world, you know, for, I guess.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean,
that doesn't make sense. And thank you. I appreciate it, Amy Lou. But that doesn't make sense. That doesn't add up to me. So, okay, if they're planning a lawsuit, why are they planning a lawsuit against Karen? Karen's going to be hurting after this. I mean, I don't imagine that Jackson and Yannetti and Little are cheap. I don't imagine that they are. I don't imagine that they're, what you would call on the averagely affordable side of defense teams. So, what I would be doing is focusing my energy. You would have a sounder, more solid case against the Norfolk County DA's office, right? But the thing is as corrupt as Norfolk County is, as corrupt as the state of Massachusetts seems to be, well, that doesn't seem like it would be a slam dunk, does it? It doesn't really seem like it would pay off, considering it's clearly a rigged system. But suing Karen, I just don't see how that would be beneficial.
Can you just talk about Kaylee and Patrick? I mean, they, you know, because we didn't put them on camera or anything, of course, during the trial, I had a lot of people ask me, like, what were they like? And they seemed like, for a reason, very, very strong kids.
They're great kids. They're strong kids. They're resilient kids. They have every excuse in the world not to be good kids. You know, my niece Kaylee, super strong. When asked if she wanted to testify, we told them they didn't have to, and she said absolutely she wants to. You know, she wanted her voice heard, her story heard. Wanted people to listen to her. She felt like.
See, there's certain things about him that I like, and I can't help it. You know, when he says things like they have every reason to be bad kids, but they're not. They're great kids. Considering everything they've been through, he acknowledges the hardship that they've been through. But he goes right into defending why they took the stand, which I find odd. I'm going to play that again in a second. Chloe Albert's Revenge, thank you. Why can't people believe they would beat him up and then put him in the lawn? This is a family that has gotten away with murder before, so why would they doubt that they could Why would they doubt that they could scam their way out of this? I agree. I mean, why is that so hard to believe? But the problem is that I'm at the point where I think Paul O'Keefe knows this. Let me go back here 1 second, folks, because hold on a second. I mean, so yeah, I like I gotta I want to tell you guys I'm trying to like him. I really am. I've never heard the guy talk before. I've read a couple of statements from interviews that he had with it was an interview that he had with that one dude. But you know, I wasn't thrilled about it. WB, thank you so much. I think Brian Albert has something on him and he's overreacting or he's overacting. That's a possibility, I guess. I mean, I don't, you know, we don't have any evidence on that, but it's definitely odd to say the least that after everything and after sitting in that courtroom every single day of that trial, even through jury deliberations, you know, it's hard to believe that he's taking this position still. But hold on, let me go ahead and
Strong kids, the resilient kids. They have every excuse in the world not to be good kids. You know, my niece Kaylee, super strong. When asked if she wanted to testify, we told them they didn't have to, and she said absolutely she wants to. You know, she wanted her voice heard, her story heard. Wanted people to listen to her. She felt like because she was, you know, 14 at the time that.
See, I'm not a behavioral analyst, not a mental health professional. I'm not a law enforcement agent. I'm not an attorney. I'm not specially trained in anything that these types of professionals would be trained in. But one thing I've seen is this consistently with people who have been consistently lying, and that bothers me. He immediately volunteered the information about John's niece taking the stand. Immediately brought that into it. She didn't bring it up. He volunteered that. And that tells me that he's getting in front of it. That tells me that he had an agenda to explain this and get in front of that immediately. He wasn't coaxed into answering it. He wasn't even so much as asked about it. But I think it's very telling that this dude just volunteered that information about his niece taking the stand.
No one wanted to listen to her. So.
All I know is that I've known a lot of bullshitters in my time, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you grow up the way that I've chosen to grow up, And I'm telling you, it was my choice. You know, it's not my family's fault. I just chose a particular lifestyle growing up, and hung around certain types of folks, and you learn to read bullshit because you kind of have to in order to survive it. And sorry, but
She was strong and insisted on doing it. And my nephew was, he wanted to support her. So he said, if she does it, I'll do it. So I'm proud of them both for doing what they did.
Yeah. Yeah. They're really strong when they got on the stand. It was amazing.
yeah, amazing. And they probably were. And there's no denying that those kids had to muster up strength to sit on that stand and do what they did. The problem I have with it, though, is how the adults surrounding these children felt it necessary to put them on that stand, to encourage them to take that stand. That's what troubles me. What troubles me is the fact that there was no case against this woman, Karen Reed. No case. And then they basically weaponize these children to gain sympathy from the jury because they didn't say anything damning at all. David Yannetti's cross-examination of these children, even though we didn't get to see it, we got play-by-play from, thank goodness, Turtle Boy, from Ted Daniel, Fall River Reporter, those kind folks that were sitting in the press gallery. And David Yannetti's cross-examination of these children was very short and was topped off with an apology to them because he knew that they had no business there. He knew that them being there did absolutely nothing except show some level of desperation coming from the prosecution. And I said it even back then, it was just simply a bad look to put those kids on the stand, to put minors on the stand and testify, unless they had smoking gun evidence. But they didn't. They didn't witness the crime. They said that they argued, and they said that they came close to breaking up. What couple doesn't? I mean, that happens where it gets so bad where you're just like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm leaving, or I'm going to pack a bag, or they even pack a bag for the sake of dramatics. You know, it happens. And they were going through a hard time. You had Karen Reed with her health issues that she was dealing with, and you had John O'Keefe dealing with having to be a dad all of a sudden. Having to go from being an uncle to being an uncle and a dad. And trying to balance that, hey, I'm not trying to replace your parents, but I'm the parent now. And trying to raise them, earn their respect, considering how much they've been through and how much they've lost. This is not an easy thing for someone to do, especially somebody who's just been thrown into this situation like John O'Keefe was, like those kids were. This is not easy for any of them. Now, Karen Reed chose to take this on. But the difference is Karen Reed didn't choose to have the physical ailments that she was suffering from. So therefore, it made the entire situation very difficult. They were trying to see something through together, and it had its hard times. That is not, I would find it almost suspicious if everyone said that they were perfect. I would be like, wait, what? Nobody's perfect. Not with all that shit going on, you know? But to put these kids on the stand to state what anyone would find obvious was borderline abusive. And everyone seemed to encourage this. No one said, hey, you don't have to do this, and it's probably better if you don't. And maybe Paul O'Keefe here is trying to imply that that's what he did. But the fact that he was so defensive about it immediately, like brought it up freely, brought it up and put it out there. Brutally honest. Thank you so much. O'Keefe's been utterly blindsided by the McAlberts. Agreed. But the problem is, it's just like, what is going on at this point? Because I'm hearing someone who absolutely is full on television right now with the most powerful voice of anyone who would believe that Karen Read is guilty, sitting up there saying that Karen Read is guilty. This is the person that everyone's going to listen to as far as that goes. As far as having sympathy for and having empathy and sympathy for, this is the guy. Automatically, he gets that. Automatically, he gets that from me, simply because his brother was murdered. And it must suck to be in that situation. But the problem is that it's getting to a point to where I'm having a hard time understanding and accepting that he is just being bamboozled at this point. Because I don't think he's that gullible. He's not coming off to me as that gullible as he speaks right now.
Do you feel comfortable telling me, just from all that you've learned over the last 2.5 years, like what you think happened that night?
Oh, we know what happened. We know that Johnny and Karen were arguing. It was kind of towards the end of their relationship. Things weren't well. They were drinking and arguing and fighting, and in an intoxicated state of rage and jealousy, she just decided that she was going to do something about it.
Facts, Jen Del Rio. I completely agree.
Reverse and ran them down and left them there to die.
Wait, what?
And
hold on a second.
We figured it out as soon as she left the house that day when she came over. We didn't talk to any investigators, state police, nobody. My mother had said, do you think she has something to do with this? And I said, we're not going to think like that. In an intoxicated state of rage and towards the end of their relationship, things weren't well. They were drinking and arguing and fighting, and in an intoxicated state of rage and jealousy, she just decided that she was going to do something about it. And put the car in reverse and ran them down and left them there to die. And we figured it out as soon as she left the house that day when she came over. We didn't talk to any investigators, state police, nobody. My mother had said, do you think she has something to do with this? And I said, we're not going to think like that. Went outside to the driveway to look at her car, and her car was gone. It was a blizzard. I knew what the driving conditions were like coming from the hospital to Canton. And I knew that they were going back to Dighton, which is...
See, the problem with everything that he just fucking said is that court testimony from even including himself contradicts what he's saying. I mean, he didn't have anything negative to say about Karen Read while he was on the stand. His wife had nothing negative to say about Karen Read while he was on the stand and under oath. Then everyone testified that they didn't witness any fighting. They didn't hear any fighting. They didn't see. They seemed, we saw video footage of them at the waterfall, and they were hugging, having a nice time. Or was it CF McCarthy's? Sorry, it was CF McCarthy's, the video footage from there where they're hugging and having a nice time. And so that in the one setting, the one venue, if you will, where you're going to get the facts that actually matter, the stuff that is legally tattooed on the record, embedded in history, it's done. That would be a trial, a courtroom. That would be a courtroom, right? So, I find it interesting that this person right here is just sticking to this already disproven theory on television.
Which is a much further drive.
Mhm.
So we put it together pretty quickly.
I was going to ask you that next. So you took the words out of my mouth. It was like, when did you realize? It was literally that morning.
Yeah, so I would say early afternoon when they came back to the house. You know, she wanted to come over and see the kids. Didn't really interact with them at all. Was there for probably a total of 30 minutes. Didn't say much or anything. And half of her time was upstairs gathering her things. Then my wife spoke to her on the phone on their way back to Dighton. And she told my wife that just have to remember the bad times. And I don't think I'm ever going to talk to you guys again.
Was that phone call what made you sure of what had happened?
Absolutely, yeah. We already, like I said, we put the pieces together on our own, and that just.
I mean, dude, she's the girlfriend, okay? She's the girlfriend. She's, and some of you may not like me saying this, but I think it's fair to say that Karen Reed has a bit of a flair for the dramatics. This is no secret, considering. Now, if I had to read that situation, my money would be on Karen Reed doing that with the intention of hopes for validation from the O'Keefe family. Like, no, hey, what do you mean you're leaving and you're not going to talk to us anymore? Your family. Had that happened, there probably would have been a different outcome. I feel like she was probably fishing for that through her behavior. Amy Darcy Marie, thank you so much. Thank you for your honest take on this utter bullshit. Is he being willfully obtuse? I'm trying so very hard to give him the benefit of the doubt because he lost his brother, but yeah, so am I. I'm with you on that. I'm absolutely with you on that right now. And Groovy Cheryl says he's setting her up for the public to side with him. That get even comment he made when leaving court. Brick one in the wall he's trying to create before the next trial. I would say that is a fair assessment, a fair theory for sure. I would not disagree with you on that at all. The thought has crossed my mind as well. So, because if I'm trying to think, I always try to think in terms of motive. What's his motive for this? What's the point of this? Why now? Right? Well, okay. Well, they're going to try to retry her. And the court of public opinion has not been on their side. So, but sorry, I was in the middle of a thought before. So yeah, I would imagine, based on the games that Karen played with Higgins, based on the liberties she took in saying I hate you, the to do so cavalier and just to use those words so freely, I would say that Karen Reed has a bit of a flair for the dramatics, which is not uncommon for people. It's just not uncommon. A lot of people do this, and it doesn't make them bad people. It can make them kind of annoying. It can, but it doesn't make them bad people necessarily. So, you know, I could imagine her fishing for validation. It's not her place. In her mind, she's thinking it's not my place to welcome myself into this family. If this family wants me to be a part of them and a part of their tribe, well, then they have to welcome me in and almost insist on it, that I am not unwelcome here. I need to be convinced that I am not unwelcome here. And in order to do that, she can't just be like, well, I'm here and I'm hanging out, you know. She feels somewhat out of place. She was out drunk with the guy. She feels somewhat responsible because she couldn't help him. She screamed and yelled, I hate you, on a voicemail. She thought he was out cheating on him, on her. She thought he was out cheating on her. So to some degree, she feels this awkward feeling of hanging around his family after all of this, and then he turns up dead. This is an awkward feeling. She needs to have that validation. She needs to have the olive branch extended to her in a situation like that. And that, in my opinion, is why she was like, I'm leaving, and grabbed her things and did what she had to do, hoping that at any given time somebody would be like, hey, what are you doing? You know, you should be here with us right now. But nobody did that, did they? Nobody did that. So instead, they decided to think of it as being as suspicious behavior on her part.
Really solidified it. You know, why would somebody say that? Why would someone say, you know, if you didn't do anything, why would you say you're never going to talk to us again? Or why do you have to remember the bad times?
Thank you, Jar.
Like justifying what she did.
Right. How would you have expected her to act in that situation if she hadn't done something?
Great question.
More sad, empathetic.
What?
Sympathetic. But
empathetic.
Like when she was at the house.
Okay, that's my fault. More sad. I thought he said, I swear that's my own fault. I thought he said more sad and pathetic, but he said more sad, empathetic, sympathetic. Okay, like, so I got it now. But yeah, that's my bad. I misunderstood. I was like, what the fuck? She was probably looking for validation of love and acceptance, and she's family and always welcome. Right. That's what I think. That's what I think. KK. Thank you. And Beck, thank you so much. If the investigation had been done properly, we wouldn't be here. I feel bad for him, but I'm not sure if he and I saw the same trial because I'm still waiting for evidence that proves she did it. I agree. Totally. Something for fuck's sake.
You know, she wanted to be there for the kids. My nephew came home. My niece was already home by the time she got there, and her family arrived. And I sat down, my nephew in the other room. She sat right next to him. I explained to him that JJ's, you know, something happened and he's no longer with us. She didn't say a word. And right after that, she went upstairs and started gathering her belongings. And the next thing you know, they were gone.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's hard. It's strange behavior.
Very strange. Yep.
When
it's not from somebody who was drinking all night. Chaos coordinator, thank you so much. When this is over, Karen Reed needs to throw POs, cease and desist, and defamation lawsuits like it's confetti. I mean, she doesn't need to do anything, you know. I agree that she probably would have grounds, you know, but I feel you, Chaos, and thank you. But I feel like it's definitely her decision to because again, I mean, I empathize with John or with Paul O'Keefe here. I do empathize with him, but the issue is that I also empathize greatly with Karen Reed, and she may just want to put all this behind her. And we have to remember that it's her that's being dragged, being put through the ringer here. And as much as we'd like to see things happen, we'd like to see action taken on certain people, and just understand that that's not her responsibility to do. It's her prerogative to do what she deems is right. So either way, and I'm sure you already realize that. I'm careful when I word things like that. Like, these people need to do this and they need to do that. I'm sure she knows that she can. And, if she does, I'm here for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely here for it. But I'm also, going to back her up 100% if she decides she just wants some peace and quiet and move on. She's earned it. Lord knows that.
When did the whole narrative of her version of events become known to you?
Well, if you remember her first arraignment in Stoughton District Court,
Yeah.
her attorney, David Unetti, had said this is a tragic accident. His client had no criminal intent.
Mhm.
And then
Thomas Fleming, thank you. You believe that John O'Keefe was beaten to death and left on the front lawn? That's more likely to you than a hit and run? Well, I keep hearing that argument, Thomas Fleming, and I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Now, Thomas Fleming, let me explain something to you that I've explained 100 times already. The law doesn't deal in likelihoods or probabilities. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. What it deals in is facts and evidence. And if we lived in a society where you could be convicted on something that was more likely to happen than something else, well, this would be a scary place to live. And it already is a little scary. But this would be a very scary place to live if our justice system worked that way. And I'm very grateful that it doesn't. So likelihoods, schmeiklihoods. It's not a likelihood either that these are a bunch of cops that are covering for each other. But it does happen. The whole reason we're here, Thomas Fleming, is because none of this shit is likely. That's why it's so fascinating. That's why we're so invested, because it is Twilight Zone shit. So yeah, Andy Cindy, thank you so much. Reasonable doubt, exactly. The law doesn't deal in likelihoods, dude. So it's all what you can prove. And what was proved in court was not only that the prosecution failed to prove their case, they failed at attempting to prove their case. They failed at the attempt. All the way back from the investigation was fucked. They didn't even try to get justice for John O'Keefe. This is what you should be mad about. That's fine. If anybody here wants to believe that Karen Reed hit John O'Keefe with her car and it was an accident, then okay, fine. Fine. I mean, I think it's a little nuts, to say the least, that after everything that we're aware of, that you would still believe that, honestly. But fine. I accept that. But what I can't really accept is how you're still choosing to point your aggression towards Karen Reed and not the Massachusetts State Police and not the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office for how they went about prosecuting her. If you're so angry because there is a dead Boston cop, who you should be mad at are the cops who were charged with the responsibility of getting that cop justice. Plain and simple. There is just simply no escaping this fact. Your hatred and your anger and your frustration is pointed in the wrong place. She is accused of a murder. She had the means to hire a good defense team. That is something that any red-blooded American would do in a second without even thinking. And those defense attorneys are simply doing their job. Who you should be mad at are the people who didn't do their job. And there's a lot of those, aren't there? So you're sitting here hating Karen Reed so much. I think we're past that, aren't we?
And, fast forward to, I guess, when Alan Jackson came on board. And, they teamed up with a blogger to get their story that they concocted and put together.
Fucking blogger, here we go.
Flooded out there. And people are only hearing one side of the story and coming to conclusions before actual evidence in the trial had actually begun.
And then guess what happened, Paul? Excuse me, Paul O'Keefe. But what happened? The trial proved us all right, didn't it? Paul O'Keefe, did the trial not prove us all correct? Those of us who already believed Karen Reed was innocent, the trial proved that she was. To me, beyond a reasonable doubt. I already had reasonable doubt in the prosecution's case. Then the defense went up there and rocked my shit by proving that she could not have done it. Period. As a matter of fact, the prosecution helped in proving to me that she could not have done it. Trooper Paul's nightmare of a fucking testimony up there was insane. I've never seen anything so incompetent in my life. So I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
So a lot of the public was misinformed, because they were only getting one side of the story. And, we didn't come out and tell our side of the story or, what we thought or knew happened. We've kept a low profile and have been silent through this whole ordeal. But, now it's time. Now it's time for people to understand the truth. And the jurors, we thank them. They did a great job. They put in a lot of hours, paid a lot of attention, worked hard. Unfortunately, they weren't able to come to, a consensus as far as a verdict goes. But, we have another chance at it. And, hopefully the jury that we get for the second time around will, we'll see things more clearly.
So, just so I'm clear.
Bro, did you just fucking say that? That you hope that the next jury that comes around for the next trial is going to see things more clearly? I hope so too. I hope so too. The only party in this trial that made it difficult to see things clearly was the prosecution. The prosecution's entire strategy was failed misdirection the entire time. Now, apparently, some jurors fell for it, but that was the prosecution's strategy the whole time. You don't find it odd that the prosecution's strategy was that of a defense's strategy? I've never seen a prosecution play smoke and mirrors and misdirection and try to distract the jury. I've never seen that. I've seen defense teams do it. I've never seen defense teams go straight for the jugular of the truth every single time. I've never seen that. You know why I've never seen that? Because I've never seen a trial where a factually innocent person was on the stand, except for the Johnny Depp. But that wasn't a criminal trial. But I've never seen that before. Matt Fritz, thank you so much. He just got done saying they preconceived what had happened even before the investigation began. Right. Yeah, Matt Fritz. I mean, he did say that. He did say that. This is wild, man.
Clear. You think this all started when Alan Jackson showed up, and Karen, throughout the course of this trial, you think she knows what she did?
She knows exactly what she did, and she's trying to buy and lie her way out of this. You know, refusing to take accountability for her actions. Not only that, but pointing the finger and blaming innocent people.
Yeah, talk to me about that. I mean, because the thing is, it the story on the defensive side is not just, oh, she didn't do it. It's she didn't do it, and all these other people
So now this dude is gonna white knight for the McAlberts.
did.
Yeah, I mean, she's pointing the finger at everybody. Everyone's lying except for her, according to her.
See, that's some gaslighting shit right there. That's some gaslighting shit right there. Everyone's lying but you, right? Everyone's lying but you, right? Because if you don't know what the fuck he's talking about, immediately I'm going to look at that person side-eyed and be like, yeah, right? Is this one of those motherfuckers that thinks the whole world is lying but them? That's totally what I'm going to do. Anybody who is just now, who caught the ass end of the trial and doesn't know anything about it, and is now watching this, is going, oh my God. Indy Cindy, I'm sorry for the family, but what are they going to say when the feds release their investigation? Right. Why is he just acting like that's not even a thing? Thank you, Indy Cindy. Why is he acting like that's not even a thing? Like the federal investigation is not even a thing. I love that they just pretend, you know, like Canceled Karen just pretended like she wasn't getting sued for $10 million. It was fucking wild, just hoping it'll go away. Like, it's insane. But he's sitting here and he's just gaslighting like horribly. And it's like, well, wait a minute, dude. You're like, the thing is that we watched all of those people lie on the stand. We watched a bunch of people, a bunch, too many to name off the top of my head right now, say that they were inside 34 Fairview Road, and then when they walked out, they didn't see John O'Keefe laying in the snow, but Karen Reed supposedly had already hit him, right? Everyone was lying. Because I saw that lawn. Everyone was lying. Somebody had to have seen him. But they didn't, because he wasn't there. Andrew Rasla, thank you so much. A theory must be repeatable. Any scientist can conclude, like Crash Daddy, that Officer John O'Keefe was not hit by a car. They cannot reach the same conclusion as Trooper Paul. Agreed. Right. Must be repeatable. You have to be able to come to no other conclusion. You have to approach the problem from different directions and then reach no other conclusion. That's how it works. Incredible. And thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it.
67 witnesses testify. 68. I'm sorry, testify. Right. And according to them, they're all lying and they're not credible. And, you know, which, I mean, there's first responders.
Who turned out to be a liar. McLaughlin was a liar.
Kerry Roberts. All they did was pick up the phone and help because she was asking for help.
Jen McCabe lied.
And according to them, the only one telling the truth is her.
Right. So I don't even know what to call them. We have a variety of names. the pink people. They turned on all those people first. Jen McCabe, Matt McCabe.
The pink people. Wow.
But then how have they treated you guys over the course of the last year and a half?
Well, if you just go back to any video of us walking into court during pretrial hearings, yelling, screaming, calling us names, to this day, I don't know what I did wrong. I get messages all the time, whether through Facebook or other ways of communication.
Well,
telling me that I'm a moron.
Here's the thing. I'm never going to yell and scream at this dude, and I don't fucking support anyone doing that, right? Any member of John O'Keefe's family yelling and screaming and calling them names, I don't support that shit in the slightest bit. Now, I take issue with look, I also can acknowledge, because I've gotten to know some of these people somewhat, and I can acknowledge, I can at least say that some have a right to be upset. Now, again, I don't condone yelling and screaming at them and calling them names, not in the slightest. But what I'm saying is I understand some people being upset. I personally don't necessarily have a reason to be upset. I don't take these things personally. His opinions, I'm not going to take personally. I just won't do it. But I do understand certain people being upset about having this person minimize their feelings and their opinions about this. I don't think that that's right, because I know that there are people who made very, very significant sacrifices in the name of getting justice for his brother. I know people that have been threatened. I know people who have been, and it's simply because they want justice for his brother. Megan Johnson, thank you. Was there any snow on top of John's body that morning? If it was a blizzard and his body was out there for 5-6 hours, wouldn't snow build up on him? I mean, to a certain degree, yeah. But I mean, you could see him. But I don't think that there is any footage or pictures of his body laying in the snow with snow on top of him, because first responders got there and tried to revive him. As a matter of fact, Karen Reed tried to revive him prior to the first responders even getting there. So that snow would not be on him. So I don't know, but I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, I take issue because I think that there's some really good people out there who have made significant sacrifices. Not just Turtle Boy, who went to jail, namely him, but also other people who were falsely charged, other people who take time off of their jobs because they feel like this is their civic duty to stand out and protest the corruption that is clearly happening. There's a lot of people who are very emotionally invested in getting his brother justice, who is a Boston police officer. And they feel very strongly about it. And for that to go unappreciated tells me a lot about his character. Unfortunately, it does. Say what you will, think what you will, but it does. And those people have a right to be upset. And Ashley Lynn, thank you so much. This man seems brainwashed, and it's so sad. He and his family are looking at this through rose-colored glasses, all due to their hatred of Karen. Yeah. And Turtle Boy. It's bizarre. It's super bizarre. KK, thank you so much. Truth and Transparency has cleaned up 911 call, and Jen tells 911 they just flipped him over. Yeah, I don't trust anything that comes from Truth and Transparency. But thank you. Appreciate it.
Moron, I'm stupid, and he doped my eyes and all this stuff. But I ignore those. I don't really care what people say to me because this isn't about me. This is about my brother. And I like to think I know a little bit more of what's going on in the case than people that are just reading stuff on the internet. And there's been things said about me, accusations about me.
Thank you so much, Ray Westman. At the end of the day, we have always wanted justice for John O'Keefe, for Officer John O'Keefe. We believe Karen did not do it, so essentially there has been no justice in our eyes. Agreed. That's the issue. Is the reason why we're pointing fingers at these people who he believes are innocent, but we know they're not, is because there's only one other place that you could look when the science dictates that Karen Reed could not have hit John O'Keefe with her vehicle. So, I mean, it just boils down to that one simple fact. There's only one other place to look, and that is inside 34 Fairview Road on the early morning hours of January 29th, 2022. No other way around it. It is what it is.
All types of things that just aren't true.
Yeah, see, I don't
brush it off because
I don't condone any of that, man. Like, like I just, I don't condone any of that, like, to me, it's just like, I get that people are upset and they have a right to be, but if you're making things up about the guy, then but the fact is I mean, you're also going to be subject to criticism. I don't approve of lying on the guy, but you're also subject to criticism if your behavior seems like it doesn't make any fucking sense at all. I mean, I feel perfectly justified in my criticism towards him right now. Perfectly justified, because I happen to know way too many facts on this case. Way too many. And I'm not going to just dismiss my common sense because he's the brother of a victim. I'm just not going to do that.
Because this isn't about me.
So if these people buy into this big conspiracy, right, that Brian Albert's a murderer or whoever, okay, if they buy into that, why are they turning on you guys? Has that ever made sense to you?
Because we don't believe in a crazy conspiracy theory that holds no merit, no evidence. I mean, we know these people. I mean, Jen McCabe has been
Oh, there you go.
She was friends with my sister.
There you go. Right. You know these people. That tells me everything I need to know. I mean, you're just come on.
We've known her for over 10 years. She was very helpful with, picking Kaylee up to and fro when he took over raising the kids. Carrie Roberts, we've known for a very, very long time, right? And at the time, she didn't really know Jen McCabe or any of the McCabes or Alberts. And her testimony corroborated everything that Jen said. And the defense, I think, was scared of her and didn't even want to ask her any questions. They just wanted her off the stand. And I guess the negative or hate that's directed towards me, mostly me and my mother.
Wait, what?
Because we support these people who are
being
falsely accused of something they didn't do. And at the time, she didn't really know Jen McCabe or any of the McCabes or Alberts. And her testimony corroborated everything that Jen said. And the defense, I think, was scared of her and didn't even want to ask her any questions. They just wanted her off the stand.
Who?
picking Kaylee up to and fro. When
Kaylee,
he took
okay.
over raising
What?
the kids. Carrie Roberts, we've known for a very, very long time, right? And at the time, she didn't really know Jen McCabe or any of the McCabe's
Carrie
or Alice.
Roberts.
And her testimony
Okay.
corroborated everything that Jen said, and the defense, I think, was scared of her and didn't even want to ask her any questions. They just wanted her off the stand. And I guess the negative or hate that's directed towards me.
I'd have to rewatch that. But why was what was Carrie Roberts? Why would her testimony be so powerful? The defense just wanted her off the stand. If her testimony was so important and so impactful, why wouldn't you just say that the why wouldn't you just praise the prosecution for asking her all the right questions? She was the prosecution's witness. Why are you criticizing the defense for getting her off the stand? You're criticizing the defense for not cross-examining her, for letting her off the hook. That's what you're criticizing the defense for? Why wouldn't you criticize the prosecution for not asking the questions that you think should have been asked? It was his burden to do it, dude.
Mostly me and my mother, is because we support these people who are being falsely accused of something they didn't do, right? And their lives have been turned upside down and partially ruined. You know, Colin Albert, who was a 17-year-old kid at the time, his life has been turned upside down and ruined.
Guys, I get it. Okay? I understand. I understand that the dude is a fucking doppelganger of Johnny Sins, but that doesn't mean that in my chat you guys could spread rumors about people swinging. I'm not going to have that, so please do not do that. We've discussed the swinging thing before. The swinging thing is fucking irrelevant. I don't care who is putting who in their mouths on their leisure time. I don't care. I don't fucking care. It means nothing to me. Okay? So please, please just save it.
I've gotten to know the Alberts through all this, and they're all good people. So just because we don't believe in a crazy conspiracy theory, and we believe,
but it's not crazy,
he's guilty of killing my brother, you know, they take it on us.
Doesn't it feel sometimes like your brother's forgotten in all of this?
Absolutely, all the time. It's
well, you know,
it's turned into the
here's the thing: is I'm going to refute that. I'm going to refute that. Okay, because first of all, the focus hasn't been taken off of Officer John O'Keefe. We all want justice for Officer John O'Keefe. Otherwise, we wouldn't say anything beyond. We wouldn't have conversations beyond Karen Reed and wanting her to be exonerated. We've had so many channels have sat on panels together and sat in and been in each other's chats, and everyone who's in these chats have all said once Karen Reed is exonerated, we hope that there's some swift justice to take place. We're dying for it. We're dying to just for that moment, for that FBI, open up. We're dying for it. We wouldn't if we weren't seeking justice for John O'Keefe, for your brother. So John is not lost at all. John is not lost in all of this. But in the words of Melanie Little, I would submit to you that if John O'Keefe, now she didn't say this, I'm just saying submit to you. I don't want to misquote her. These are my thoughts. If John O'Keefe is lost in all of this, Officer John O'Keefe is lost in all of this, that would be because maybe the wrong woman is being accused of his murder. If the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office and the Massachusetts State Police had done their due diligence and done their jobs, there would be no Karen Reed sitting on the stand or sitting in the defense table, sitting on trial, and there would just be the focus on getting John O'Keefe justice. That process was thwarted by the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office and the Massachusetts State Police not doing their job. So you have them to thank for that, Paul O'Keefe. Not us. We didn't do anything. Not us. You have the people who you back up to thank for that. Had they done their job, and again, let's say Karen did hit him. Had they done their job, nobody here would be thinking that she's innocent, would they? If they could prove, if they actually did their jobs and proved that Karen Reed did this beyond a reasonable doubt, like they were supposed to do, like they were tasked with the responsibility to do, well then, we all wouldn't be here. So you have them to thank for that, not us.
And Reed show, you know, she walks through a crowd that cheers her on. She goes out in public, takes pictures, signs autographs. She's just living her life like nothing's ever happened. And meanwhile, my brother's been gone for almost 2.5 years. And I just want people to...
I mean, you just said it. It's been 2.5 years and she's living her life. She's living her life because while she's free, she has the right to do that because she has the fear of her life being taken from her looming over it. She has the fear of her life being taken away from her looming over her at all times. So therefore, yes, she's living her life. And yes, she has a ton of support and she's showing gratitude for it. That's what a decent person would do. A guilty person with a guilty conscience would be like, no, fuck all you people, blah, 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 blah. But she's simply showing gratitude because there's a lot of support for her. And why is there support for her? Why aren't you asking those questions? See, this is the problem. You're sitting here going, how could she? You're so focused on how could she sign autographs? Oh my God. Ask yourself why people are asking her for her autograph. Do a deep dive, Paul O'Keefe. Do your homework, my friend. Look at all of the inconsistencies, rewatch testimony, and then ask yourself, why are people asking Karen Reed for her autograph? Again, you can thank the Norfolk County DA's office for putting Karen Reed in a position to where people find her autograph to be something of sentimental value. You can thank the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office for that and the Massachusetts State Police.
Go back to who the victim is in this. It's not her. It's my brother.
What do you want people to know about John? You call him Johnny. Kids call him JJ.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my older brother. So, I mean, generous, loyal, sometimes a pain in the ass to me. Oh, I'm sorry, pain in the butt to me.
You can say pain in the ass.
You know, just because he was my older brother, but he just was there if you needed him. Took care of the people that he loved. Good-hearted guy who didn't deserve any of this. You know, he rearranged and uprooted his life. Went from a single the bachelor lifestyle living in Boston to moving into instant dad role.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that obviously everyone admires him the most for, and I do too. It wasn't easy for him at the beginning, but he learned to figure it out, and we all helped as much as we could without getting in the way.
True, Elaine. Thank you.
Just an overall good guy.
And I assume he
9
chose
months,
to
right
do
on.
that, right? I mean,
Appreciate
your sister's situation is unimaginable.
Yeah. So then, well, after my brother-in-law passed away, we had to figure out, all right, what do we do? And at the time, my wife and I were like, all right, we'll take them in. At the time, we had a 3-year-old and an 8-month-old, so we were trying to figure out how are we gonna do this. Our house was small. We didn't really want to live in the house that they both passed away in, but we were trying to figure it out the best way possible. And then Johnny just stepped up one day and just said, "I got it."
Wow.
And then pretty much moved in the next day and took it from there for 8 years.
So there's a reason that's why so many people describe that's what they admired about him.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
stepped up.
a selfless act, changing your life, to take care of his family and people he loved. Yeah, I mean that's him in a nutshell.
I know I asked you how your mom's doing already or how your parents are doing, but I just can't imagine for her losing 2 kids.
Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate it.
She like a different person now?
She's a strong woman. I'll give her that. Yeah, it's unimaginable, just to lose them in the ways that she did. My sister suffering for 5.5 months with brain cancer.
Yeah.
But at least had the opportunity to say goodbye. And then, with my brother just being taken from us so quickly and senselessly, I don't know, somehow she keeps it all together. My father, quiet, kind of keeps to himself. But I mean, overall, what they've gone through it's unfair.
Yeah.
It's unimaginable. But they're strong and they keep moving forward, and just same thing. They do what they have to do to take care of the family.
I have to ask you, we got ushered out of the courtroom pretty quickly on Monday. You had a little exchange with Karen. Do you mind? What happened there?
So throughout the trial, she likes to turn and look at me and smirk. She's never once made eye contact with my wife, Erin. So when the mistrial was announced, she turned and looked right at Erin and gave her a smirk, and then went over and hugging and celebrating to some extent. And I just said, you're not done yet.
Dude, you all tried to crucify her, and she came out on top because she didn't do what you're accusing her of doing. Of course she's going to smirk. You expect her to be, I mean, sure, that's nice. If she turns out to be the Mother Teresa type who just kills him with kindness and is just the perfect example of empathy, sure, okay. But you know what? Some people, they're just not built that way. If I was accused of a crime that I didn't commit, and there was an overwhelming amount of exculpatory evidence that proves that I did not do this out there, made available to you, and you are publicly trying to crucify me and ruin my life, and buddying up with the very people who are responsible for it, well, I can't really blame her for giving a look like, yeah, motherfucker, now what? I can't blame her. Thank you, Just Joe. It's that attempt to save a bullshit case. Either district attorney or McAlbert set this up for PR. Epic fail. I agree. Yeah, this isn't an accident. This is, I mean, come on. This isn't random. This isn't, oh, would you like to do an interview? Fuck out of here.
Did she say something back?
No, but I mean, it was an emotional day, emotional moment, being in that courtroom, sitting so closely, and that's something that she wanted.
Yeah, can you talk about that? I mean, the courtroom switch, we know all the legal reasons why it happened, but you guys were like arm's length from her for the entire trial.
Yep. I guess after a while, you just got used to it, but yeah, showing up every day, sitting that close to the person that took my brother away from us, it was not easy. It took a lot to not say anything, but again, it wasn't about me. We were there for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to get justice for Johnny.
What did Adam and Laura say to you guys afterwards? Like, what, looking ahead?
That didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, they were disappointed in the outcome, but Adam said he was I'll start tomorrow. So they're confident. They have the truth on their side. Unfortunately, if you pay high-powered attorneys enough and put enough lies out there, you start influencing people to the point where there's just no turning back. I think people just don't want to admit that they were wrong or duped. But they're confident, and we're going to go at it again.
He, meeting Adam, has been like, he's kept to himself a lot, similar to you guys over the course of this.
Yep.
Agreed. Yeah, great point.
Hard?
So even if there was a chance that that Morrissey wasn't going to move forward with retrying this case, this right here solidifies it. He has to. He has to now. Great point. Thank you so much, Shannon.
I'm sure it's been extremely hard on him. He's not the type that looks at social media or pays attention to that stuff. He just keeps his head down and does his job.
Good for him.
He's not the flashy attorney that wants to be on camera all the time and have press conferences on the stairs like some people. He's just a hardworking,
Dude, he's a fucking terrible prosecutor. What are you talking? Have you ever seen a trial? He's a terrible prosecutor, bro. Like, he's the worst. Like, dude, have you not watched like every fucking lawyer on YouTube go, this dude sucks? What is this dude doing? Like, even Plevin says that he's bad. Fucking Plevin, dude. You're all's mouthpiece. Plevin is like, dude, Lally is terrible. Like, I mean, what are you talking about? Hard working my ass. Dude, that is not what I would call that frumpy motherfucker. There's no way that I would call frumpy Lolly hardworking. I would never refer to him as that. Will this interview hurt the trial? They're hoping that it does. They're hoping that it will influence. I mean, to me, this serves the same purpose as Michael Morrissey putting out that one statement a while back. Let's Tango. Thank you so much. Refreshing and much needed to hear, man, with a platform address this. New sub for life. Right on. Thanks, Let's Tango. Appreciate you. I hope you enjoy.
I guess nose to the grindstone kind of guy and just does his job.
That he does not do. He does not do that.
Job.
He does not do that at all. Jamcracker, thank you so much. Paul's got some fucking nerve accusing Karen Reed of smirking when we all saw him give her the evil eye every damn day, for fuck's sake. Happy birthday, Cherry, wherever you are. Absolutely. Happy birthday, Cherry, wherever you are.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. think we got a super.
Late, thank you so much. I feel empathy for him and his family. It's so sad for them, but they jumped conclusion by the way they acted that morning and never veered from it. Anger will eat you alive. Been there, lost my brother to a massive heart attack at 53 years old. No one called 911. Jesus, yeah, that's tough. I'm sorry to hear that, Elaine. And thank you. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I have to agree with you. It's like they drew their conclusion on her behavior that morning, let their minds race, and then everybody found solace with each other. That the O'Keefes, the McAlberts, and just bought each other's bullshit all this time, is what it sounds like.
But he's never once really complained about it, to us anyway.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard on him. I know it's hard on Laura. I know it's been hard on everyone who's been involved in this. But everyone's determined that we're just going to do it again.
Has your circle of like the people who support you guys, has it grown? Has it gotten smaller over the course of all the noise outside of this?
So for me personally, I've kept my circle smaller.
Mm-hmm.
People that you were friends with or haven't seen in a while, you just don't know where their mind's at.
Yeah.
What they believe. So,
and some might
we've been
argue
forced to become very kind of
like this is just a fucking fluff job. It's a fluff piece. Okay, fair enough. But I mean, when you interview a victim of a crime, a family member of a victim, when you interview them, that's usually the case. How are you feeling? How's this affected your family? What do you have to look forward to? So on and so forth. He's not going to get in so much of the technical aspects and the details of the investigation and the trial. Scott McGinnis, my man, thank you so much. I want to thank Will the Glare. He has been so important to me in this journey. He is what I listen to all the hours I spend outside of court and in this fight. So personally, life-changing for me. Wow. Scott McGinnis, I can honestly say the same thing about you and all of those people out there. Life-changing. Totally life-changing. An incredible experience it has been and continues to be knowing you guys. Your inspiration to me never ceases. It never seems to cease. I wake up excited every day to be part of this. And I'm grateful to you. So thank you, man.
kind of like defensive, not as outgoing as we normally would be.
Mm-hmm.
But I think recently we're gaining some more support. I think people have been afraid, to show up to court and I guess counter protest to the people that are outside. I think people have been in fear.
This motherfucker right here. This motherfucker right here's got some rare to him. Hold on, people. You see what's going on here, right? You see?
Friends with or haven't seen in a while, you just don't know where their mind's at.
Yeah.
What they believe. So we've been forced to become very kind of like defensive, not as outgoing as we normally would be.
Mm-hmm.
But I think recently we're gaining some more support.
Watch this.
People have been afraid, to show up to court and I guess counter protest to the people that are outside.
He's rallying an army. Do you hear that shit? This is his attempt. He's trying to rally troops. He's trying to rally folks to go out there and basically cause a problem. I mean, now he's not outright saying it, and he's using words like counter protest. And actually, I encourage it. If you genuinely believe that Karen Read is guilty, and you think that this is all ridiculous and you believe this with all your heart, of course, I absolutely would encourage you to exercise your First Amendment right the same way that I would encourage Scott McGinnis and everyone else who I just expressed the gratitude for inspiration that I have, because that would inspire me too, because you have the guts to do it. And this guy out here is challenging you to do it. He's out here saying you've been afraid. You're too scared. You've been too scared. What are you, scared? That's what he's doing right now. What are you, scared? People have been too scared to go out there and counter protest these people. Even though these people are out there not causing any problems at all whatsoever, these people are in no way, shape, or form a harm to him that I've seen. But that little reverse psychology trick might work. Because you have to be fucking stupid if you think Karen Read is guilty. And I have said it many, many times. And I will say it many, many more times. You have to be factually fucking retarded if you believe Karen Read to be guilty. It's just that simple. Maris Whitaker, thank you. Have you noticed people are getting more aggressive? This interview, Turtle Boy recent incident, threats, etc. It's part of their agenda and it's second time around. I agree. Yeah, like I said, they're loading up. That's what they're doing. They're loading up. This dude is as far as the public goes, this is the guy that people are going to listen to the most. And that's the thing is, if they go out there, if those people go out there and behave the exact same way that the Karen Read supporters have been behaving, I encourage it 150%. Sure. Why not? Everyone has a voice, and everyone has the right to use it. That's what makes America America. Because I don't only get to say whatever the fuck I want, but because this is America, it also means that I am going to have to hear things and see things that I don't like. That's America. Things that might hurt my feelings might be put out there. That's America. And it doesn't just work one way. So yes, I absolutely encourage anybody to counter protest as long as they behave in the same classy manner that the Karen Read supporters have been behaving and conducting themselves for nearly 2 years. Sure. But it's real interesting what he's doing right here. It's real interesting.
I think people have been in fear, but I think that's starting to turn. I think people want justice. They don't want this influence of social media and public perception based off of lies to win or to take control of this.
Do you want people to show up with?
We'll take all the support we can get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
here we go. There it is.
Away. I mean, every time we go to court, we're.
I could just hear Lally right now. The real problem here is, if any problem is a problem, it's all those wackos out there, in support of Karen Read, and there's nobody out there in support of you. Have you thought about maybe conducting an interview? I could set it up. Have you thought about sitting down for a sit-down interview and, rallying the troops, so to speak? Have you thought about doing that? What, if any, thoughts do you have on this, Paul? Guarantee you that's what happened. Guarantee. I'm willing to bet on it. And that's exactly what this is. That is exactly what this is.
We're kind of portrayed as the bad guys.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, it's, you know,
Well,
we lost a loved one. You know,
I haven't portrayed you as the bad guy, but the people who you support openly,
but somehow we're still, I guess, vilified for just not believing in a crazy conspiracy.
Yeah. On that note, was it hard for you at all? I mean, there were certainly some moments in the case where there were weak spots exposed, right? Like I think about the solo cups and Trooper Proctor, who now is facing job consequences as a result of this. What was it like for you to listen to those moments that weren't necessarily benefiting the state's case?
Well, as far as at the very early stages, I mean, a crime scene during a blizzard,
yeah,
can't be an easy thing to navigate. And yet, you know, they found evidence, they found a sneaker, they found pieces of taillight, you know. Obviously you're not going to see everything under.
let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that for a second. Some of you guys follow me on Twitter. Let me share something with you guys real quick. Now, does that look like the same sneaker to you? And I keep hearing there's comments in here that are people are saying, well, it's a shadow. It's the same shoe. That's a black sole right there. People, this is a black sole. This is a white sole. This is not a shadow, because if this were a shadow, there would not be white snow over the shadow. That would be shadowed as well. The white snow would be shadowed as well. Shadows don't work like that. That's a black sole. That's a white sole right here. And now, also, I also saw pictures of a shoe with a white sole in the snow. I saw that too. So it makes me wonder why. It makes me wonder why. Now, this is a picture that was shared in court. Okay, this was displayed in the courtroom. Go back and watch Buchanan's testimony. This was shared on the screen by the prosecution in court, on display before Buchanan unboxed, unpackaged these shoes from an evidence bag. Now, what matters to me is what was shown in court, and that picture was shown in court. They did have both shoes in court. They did have both shoes in court. So, this tells me why the defense asked for the device and the metadata of that device that took these pictures. And then guess what happened? This happened pre-trial. And they said, the prosecution said that the device nor the metadata, it no longer exists. They said this. That was their response to the defense. In one of the many, many times that the defense asked for discovery that might be exculpatory to Karen Read, they delayed. They blew it off. Judge Bev ordered them to pay it, or to not pay it, but Judge Bev ordered them to share this discovery, and they still refused. And then Bev laughed about it with Lally in another pretrial hearing. And I remember Turtle Boy and I went over it live. Brian was there too from LTL. David Himes, thank you so much. I'm learning nothing of a real perspective on what actual facts he concludes Karen did it. He speaks in broad generalities. That's absolutely true, David Himes. Excellent observation. Fubar, thank you so much. One shoe is left, the other right shoe. Okay, cool. But they both have white soles. They both have white soles when he shows them in the courtroom. I just don't have pictures of it right here. But they both have white soles. And then there's pictures of them by themselves, dry. But this is a black sole. This is not the same as either one of the shoes that Buchanan unboxed and showed the jury. And yet they displayed this picture as one of the shoes that they found. So you're telling me that John O'Keefe wore two different shoes from different pairs? It's possible. Highly unlikely, but possible. But I just wanted to share that with you. This is the so-called evidence that that Paul O'Keefe is defending. Indy Cindy 01, thank you so much. Don't think a minute that she defense didn't learn something also during this. I don't know what that means, Indy Cindy. I'm sorry. I realize that the typing on the super chatting is fucked up. I don't know why. That's a YouTube thing. And I wish that they would fix it, but I don't know what that means. Don't think that the defense didn't learn something also during this trial. Okay, I got it. All I got to do is just kind of like, put things together here. And so you're saying, don't think for a minute that the defense didn't learn something also during this trial. I agree with you. The defense didn't even share all of the exculpatory evidence that they had. They never even pointed out that the shoe thing that I'm talking about. They never even addressed it. Right? They never even addressed it. They also never even addressed the 3 liters of blood that somehow was never accounted for. They never asked the ME about it. Nothing. They never brought it up in closing arguments. There's a lot of exculpatory evidence that they didn't even go through. This case is nothing but exculpatory evidence and evidence against Karen Read that is riddled with doubt. That is all this case is. All that tells me is not only is Karen Read not guilty through a lack of evidence, but she is absolutely innocent through a lack of evidence and an abundance of exculpatory evidence.
Couple feet of snow.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they improvised the best they could. Every investigation is going to be kind of scrutinized to some degree. But they did what they had to do with what they had.
Okay.
And with the weather conditions being what they were.
Is every investigation, hold on,
be kind of scrutinized to some degree.
Is every investigation going to be scrutinized in every degree? Because that's what happened in this case. This investigation was scrutinized in every degree, not in some degree, in every degree, in all degrees, everything. This entire investigation is fucked. There is significantly more wrong with this investigation than anything that was done right. And this was all apparent before trial even started. That's why all those people are out there rallying. That's all that is. That's why everyone is going Karen Reed is innocent. That's why. Scott McGinnis, thanks so much, buddy. DA Michael Meatball Morrissey's office is ill-fated. Any thoughts of retrying Karen Reed is just whistling past the graveyard. Foolish, corruptocrat. Agreed. Yeah, man, Scott McGinnis has managed to type that without fucking it up. That's amazing. Because that's not even a word. Corruptocrat. I love it though. Fucking love it.
But they did what they had to do with what they had, and with the weather conditions being what they were, they just, like I said, had to improvise and do the best they could. As far as Michael Proctor's comments, I mean, he even said too they were unprofessional, which we agree with. But this guy, his life's been ruined. Getting his personal cell phone, which was something that should never have happened. Josh Levy should never have been intervened in this. An FBI investigation was launched due to cherry-picked evidence or pieces of discovery that was only provided by the defense. Like this is
pretty unprecedented.
To not even speak to the Norfolk District Attorney's Office, not speak to the Mass Police to see what they have for discovery and evidence.
What?
Just to intervene himself in that way, and which casted, a shadow of doubt on the investigation. So I think he had Josh Levy should never have been intervened in this.
This is killing me right now.
This guy, his life's been ruined. Getting his personal cell phone, which was
whose life has been ruined.
Proctor's comments. I mean,
Proctor.
He even said
Okay.
They were unprofessional, which we agree with. But this guy, his life's been ruined.
He ruined his own life.
Getting his personal cell phone, which was something that should never have happened. Josh Levy should never have been intervened in this.
Wow, dude.
Was launched due to cherry-picked evidence or pieces of discovery that was only provided by the defense. Like this is
pretty unprecedented.
To not even speak to the Norfolk District Attorney's Office, not speak to the Mass Police to see what they have for discovery and evidence.
This guy's a fucking mouthpiece for Michael Morrissey. I mean, that's not Paul O'Keefe talking. That is Michael Morrissey talking right there. Like, he's basically reciting the letters that Michael Morrissey wrote to Josh Levy's office. Well, you're not telling. Why won't you tell me? What are you guys investigating? Dude, they're under investigation. They're not going to share what they have. Are you serious? They're under investigation. Can you imagine Elliot Ness back in the day? I mean, not on a cell phone, but a real phone. Like, hey, Al. Yeah. Capone. What's up, buddy? Hey, listen. Yeah. Hey, so I'm thinking I can't get you on the liquor, right? I can't get you on the bootlegging. I can't get you on the murders. Like, you're clean as a whistle. So listen, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to dig into your taxes. Okay? Just a heads up, buddy. I just want you to know that I'm going to be investigating your taxes. So, okay. All right. Peace and love, buddy. All right. Bye-bye. Can you imagine that? Why would he do that? So that Al Capone can hire a fucking accountant to fix his books before Elliot Ness gets a hold of him, and then he never goes to prison? Like, why in the fuck would Josh Levy inform Michael Morrissey of what he's investigating? Keep him in the loop when he's the target of the investigation. Unreal, dude.
Just to intervene himself in that way, and which casted, a shadow of doubt.
Yeah. So you think that that's what cast a shadow of doubt? You think that even though it wasn't even brought up, the jury didn't know that there was an FBI investigation. Josh Levy's name never came up in trial, homie. It never happened. What are you talking about? Romani, can you imagine being upset that the FBI is investigating the murder of your brother? This is mind-blowing. Right. Yeah, I totally agree. This is wild. This is fucking wild, dude. This is so crazy. Like, this guy is blaming Josh Levy right now. This guy is so deep into I mean he is so drunk on the Michael Morrissey Kool-Aid that he's defending Michael Morrissey and criticizing, damning Josh Levy. Josh Levy is the only chance of his brother actually getting justice. The only chance of his brother getting justice right now. That's a fact. That is a fact. And this dude is acting and he's white knighting for Michael Morrissey, where Michael Morrissey is the victim right here. Pay no attention to the fact that everything, this guy defended Proctor just now. He fucking defended Proctor. Like, I would be so mad if Proctor had conducted the investigation the way that he did. I would be so mad. Yeah, there's there's going to be some, level of scrutiny to every investigation. No, bro, like that investigation, everything went wrong with it. Proctor did so much wrong that it's beyond suspicious. It's beyond suspicious. It's not just negligence. The dude was fucking up the investigation of your brother, a Boston police officer, like deliberately. Like everything, even this guy right here telling me, I mean, everything tells me that Karen Reed was convinced by these people that she had hit John until proof started to emerge that she didn't, because she had so much to drink and because she was so confused. She was ready to take a guilty plea. I mean, this is what they wanted in the first place. Now that the truth has come out, since Trooper Proctor conducted such a faulty cover-up, made it easy to realize that this was a cover-up, because they never thought it would go this far. They never counted on Alan Jackson. They never counted on Turtle Boy. That now, dude, unreal. Let's Tango, thank you. Keep saying everything right and calling out as needed. For fuck's sake, does he not know how government works? Right. Thank you, Let's Tango. I appreciate it. This is crazy. This is crazy.
On the investigation. So I think he has a lot of questions that need to be answered.
Yeah. Do you get updates on that?
I do not. I do plan on trying to sit down with him at some point.
Yeah.
Whether I got a knock on the door, I sent him an email, but I'm sure I won't get a response. But if I have to go knock on the door and ask for a sit down, that's what I'll do.
Is there anything I haven't asked you about that you want to make sure people know?
In all this, I just want people to remember the actual victim. I think I mentioned it before that it's not.
That's what Levy's doing. Yeah. He's the only one.
A good man whose life was taken.
I don't mean he's the only one. Hold on, I'm going to replay that because it's important that's heard. But Josh Levy's the only one that can actually do anything about it. Like, of course, we're all thinking of John, but Josh Levy is the one who can actually do something about it. This guy is clueless, dude.
A good man whose life was taken way too soon and for selfish reasons, and has created
I agree with that.
A void in our life that was already an enormous void, but just made it even that much bigger. And I just want people to remember him and want him to get the justice he deserves and that we deserve.
We are all doing that.
Karen Reed going to prison.
And that is not Karen Reed going to prison.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is absolutely not Karen Reed going to prison. It is the people who sat behind you while jury instructions were being given going to prison. And whoever else lied on that stand and tried to cover it up. All right, guys. I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. I really appreciate all you guys hanging out with me. Those are my thoughts on that. I'm not gonna go any further, at least not right now. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate you guys. I'm really grateful for all the new subscribers. Thank you guys for that. I'm really hoping that you enjoy the channel, except you outdoor squirrel fucker. Go fuck yourself, or a squirrel. But all you guys, all you other new subscribers, I really appreciate you. You guys are amazing. If you guys would, if you haven't already, please hit the like on your way out. If you haven't already, it really helps out. Oh, Brick City. Let's hope for, wait.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think.
Brick City, thank you so much. And thank you. Yeah, let's hope more. The here's sake Morsey doesn't tell him the world is flat. And Dreamer Thinker, bravo. Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah. Yeah, please hit the like if you haven't already. It really helps me out. And it means the world to me. Thank you guys for all the support. You guys are incredibly gracious. It means the world. Thank you. But on that note, guys, I'm gonna leave you with our favorite song right now. And I love you guys very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.